So having been the CIO of Royal Philips, being on both sides of as a vendor partner, being the customer and client yourself, how should CIOs partner with vendors or partners to get the right talent?
Well, you're hearing a lot about the Great Resignation, and that is just one phenomena, which is also a key factor of how, the various companies, CIOs, chief digitization officers, and, it's probably not restricted to IT talent only. It's like much more broader, both business, IT, everyone is touched by it. So that's a very important question you have raised. How should they partner with, the vendors and the various other external entities so that there is quite a bit of a continuity amongst the resources, internal resources and the external resources to kind of tie in together? The first and foremost rule of thumb I usually like to advise all CIOs is, you have to look at any vendor from a point of, are they really a good cultural fit for you? There has to be a DNA matching, which needs to happen so that you don't take 2 months first to ramp up the resources from a vendor. Even when there is an escalation, then there is a night, a night out with respect to how to get a response from the vendor. So that cultural fit is significant. The second element is when you have to identify which vendor it is, you also need to look at, would that be something that the vendor owns up to the entire program, not just as doing the task, but actually looking at it from ownership standpoint. Is the vendor really looking into other elements, influencing factors of that particular program that you are worried about? You are spending time over, factors like, hey, what will my finance team be looking out for? What are some of the current people's responsibilities? What are the operational headaches? Or it might even be, where is the company going out for in the next 12 months? If it is a private equity owned portfolio company, are the changes that are likely to impact any program that you're running right now? So that's the second very significant point, which is ownership. And the third thing is not be afraid to raise issues if it is going to be impacting the success of the program. I myself, in my hat as CIO and being much more on the customer side, have always seen like vendors many a times are reluctant to kind of raise or what you call is bell the cat. And that is so harmful to the company, to the programs. Many vendors will be looking out to, raise a change request, and that's a frequent phenomenon. I do believe that when you are signing up someone as a vendor, you are really looking into the aspect of, hey, there is a particular goal that has been defined, there is a budget that has been defined, and there is a deliverable timeline that has been defined. Who can be that vendor who can actually live with those? Because at the end of the day, it's your neck which is on the line. You have to go and report to the management or the board to say that how well this program is running. If you can't find a vendor that really matches up to your expectations, it's probably something to think twice about signing up that particular vendor. So, I mean, one of the key things and, that I did want to introduce in this conversation is when we started Stralin, I believe these learnings or lessons in my role as a customer kind of played deeply intertwined to why would I really, raise this as a foundational element. And so at Stralin, we try to make sure we are not making the same mistakes that others might not have been prudent enough to avoid. And I definitely like to mention to any of our listeners and customers and prospects that this is something that you would definitely enjoy having the luxury. You can have very peaceful nights when we are delivering, because we are representing you. We are in your shoes to make sure the success is right around the corner.
That's fantastic. It's really amazing to hear your perspective as being the CXO for and the roles of your clients, right? You've been there, you understand, you're sympathetic to it. So you're not looking at the traditional things such as, cost and all that. You're really looking at, first of all, can this partner really understand your culture fit? Are they bringing you resources that will hit the ground running, be a part of the purpose, not be toxic, and really bring and grow the existing belief system at the organization? The other thing is finding vendors that make sure that they own almost the initiative, not just throwing resumes at you. You and I have worked with many recruiting, staffing people, professional services companies. Resumes are just being bombarded at you. They're not doing a culture fit test. They're not doing, hey, I own success of my partner, my customer. They just throw resumes. We've experienced that many times. Your third point really hits home. Being able to almost be a coach and raise issues. I guess a lot of the wrong vendor definitely does not share feedback. They just say yes, and they continue to go past, even though they may know from their own personal experience or professional experience, you're going the wrong way. You're not hiring the right people. They're just trying to squeeze money out of you. That's fantastic, and I think the success that Stralin has because Stralin owns the initiative.